And we're following breaking news out of the NFL. Eagles fans will be happy to hear this. Head coach Nick Sirianni said that Jalen Hurts will return to practice today. He is still limited. However, the good news is he is back in practice. Missed Philly's past 2 games dealing with a concussion. He suffered that concussion in the team's Week 16 loss to the Commanders. Now, head coach Sirianni said that he's going to be limited, still in protocol. Here's more from Coach.
Do you expect Jalen back in practice today?
Yeah, he'll be out there today. We'll get you the injury report after practice. We'll see how it goes, but we'll get you the injury report after practice today.
Make the decision to go outside today.
All right, Pete, you were shaking your head during that soundbite there.
Is he going to be out there at practice watching? I mean, he still hasn't cleared concussion protocol.
He's in the protocol still.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, Lige, let's start with you. As a former player, you're evaluating this, because also need to say that Kenny Pickett also got hurt in that game.
Correct.
And so they went with Tanner McKee. So are they being cautious? What do you think?
Well, no, there's protocol steps you have to take, and practicing is part of that. So I would assume he's going to take some reps in practice because there's benchmarks he has to pass concussion protocol. Now, the thing that's a little bit concerning, we're going on, what, 2.5 weeks now that he actually hasn't played, and that's why I was concerned, but I think it's good news for all Eagles fans that he's going to be out there participating in practice today, because today is essentially their first practice of the week.
Well, he didn't say he would be participating. He said he would be out there.
You really think it was a cryptic message from Sirianni?
Well, okay, when does he clear concussion protocol?
You got to go through steps. You have to go through practice and pass the steps.
But is he going to practice?
From what he says, he alluded to him being in practice.
He didn't say he was going to practice. He said he would be out there.
So let's go to this. How much do the Eagles need Jalen Hurts out there against the Packers this weekend?
They need him in every game. They don't have a chance if he's not playing.
Yeah,
no chance.
No chance.
No, I agree with him. And I've argued that with Kyle Long. I said, look, they have to have him in the lineup. I mean, you can't just turn and hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley. Right. The reason Saquon Barkley is so effective is because the threat of Jalen Hurts and his ability to pull it and run. It changes the whole dynamic of the offense if he's not there.
For sure.
So I think they definitely need him in the lineup to have a chance to win this game.
And to your point, Pete, all we have to go back to is a few weeks ago when they played the Commanders. They forced 5 turnovers in that game and lost. If Jalen Hurts is in that game, I think they boat race the Commanders, because usually if you're that plus or minus in a turnover margin, it's going to skew to you winning the football game. But you force 5 turnovers and lose. A lot of those were 3rd and shorts. That's when the tush push would happen. They didn't do that with Kenny Pickett. So to Pete's point, they need Jalen Hurts to make a run in the playoffs.
So you said they need him, but you also alluded to the fact that he hasn't played in a few weeks. Where's the concern level with that?
And I'm so glad you brought that up, Jenny, because me and Pete were talking about this the other day. Let's go back a few years ago to the 2022 season when he had the shoulder injury and he missed the last couple weeks of the season. Remember, he came back in Week 18 versus the Giants and didn't look good, but that propelled him to looking good in the playoffs. So there's always a factor of maybe there's a little bit of rush when you miss 2 or 3 weeks. So that is concerning, and I would not be surprised if the Philadelphia Eagles start this game a little slow because Jalen Hurts has not played in a few weeks. All you got to do is look at history and what happened to them in 2022. He had that buffer in Week 18. He played against the Giants, didn't look good. They won that game, got the #1 seed, but now he's going straight into the playoffs without having played for 2.5 weeks.
Here's the other thing you have to be concerned about. When Tua comes back from a concussion, he's not a guy that big part of his offense is to pull it and run it. A big part of their offense is for him to pull it and run the football. And so when that happens, what happens if he gets hit in the head? I mean, there's always a concern when you have 1, you're going to have 2. And if you're a guy that takes a lot of shots and does get involved in the run game, I think that could be a concern as well for the Eagles.
And to your point, the tush push has been such a weapon for them. Do they not maybe do that? Because defenders could try to, shoot at him, and you worry about him potentially getting another concussion. So these are all things you have to be worried about if you're Nick Sirianni.
So, Lige, as a former player, walk us through the next couple of days. Obviously, we're not there with the Eagles organizations, but what you've seen. So he's back, limited to practice. We don't know what that means. Today's Wednesday, the game's Saturday night. What can we expect over the next couple of days?
Yeah, if it's a typical week, today's the first day they're actually out there on the practice field, right? And there's going to be different benchmarks Jalen Hurts has to go through to pass concussion protocol. It's all about how he recovers after practice. If there's no symptoms being showed, then he passes another benchmark. So that's what it is the next couple of days, Amanda. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Can he have those practices without having any regression when it comes to the concussion symptoms? That'll be the question mark for him going forward if he can pass concussion protocol.
I don't know why you're asking him about...
And the game is Sunday, by the way. That was my fault. I was thinking of the Ravens.
By the way, I don't know why you're asking him about concussion protocol. When he played way back in the day, they used to stick smelling salts in your face and tell you about that.
What happened in the 1950s when you were playing?
They just kick your butt and make you go back in
out there.
You didn't even have any smelling salts.
That was a deep shot right there.
It's okay. He's used to it. Yeah.
It's fine. All right, well, we're going to have all the action here on CBS Sports HQ as we get ready for this weekend in the NFL. All the news, highlights, scores, it is all here on HQ. We can also listen to Lige and Pete Prisco just battle it out on what's right and what's wrong. Always fun.